Alhamdulillahi wa kafah wa salatu wa salamu ala ibadihi alladhina astafa. Amma ba'd. Fa'udhu billahi min ash-shaytanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Allahumma anis wahshatana fi quburina warhamna bil Qur'anil azim waj'alhu lana imaman wa nuran wa hudan wa rahmah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We are now in the last 10 nights of Ramadan. May this be a blessed period for you, and may you derive maximum benefit from it. The theme of these last 10 nights is Aitqum min an-nar, or being saved or manumission from the fire. And I'd like to approach this theme through first with Surah An-Nisa. There's a very interesting ayah in the surah that I'm going to get to in a moment. But first, a little bit about Surah An-Nisa. You know, in one of the Quran classes that we have here, and I've been teaching, we study an article on Surah An-Nisa that speaks about its composition. And this article is divides the surah into 5 thematic sections, with the first section and the last having some similarities, particularly on the issue of women. And then there are other themes in there as well, such as orphans. The middle section is on battle, and then there are 2 sections in between. And the article speaks of the surah as a palindromic structure because it brings us back in the beginning in the end to where we started in the beginning. And I was trying to find unifying elements among all the different sections that were mentioned, and it's a pretty compelling piece of work. And the one thing that seems to stand out is this issue of justice, because what are we supposed to how are we supposed to behave when we are in positions of power and authority, whether it's with respect to our household or orphans who have no longer any protection? We should be just with them. And the same in battle. We shouldn't transgress if there are times of conflict. And the purpose of battle should be to relieve people who are being oppressed from the oppression that is being rained down upon them. So that's a theme that connects the first and the third block, as it's called. And in the last block, it says very clearly, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu kunu qawwamina bil qist. And so it states the theme explicitly: stand firmly for justice, shuhada'a lillah, and as witnesses on behalf of God. Now, the second and the fourth blocks of the surah, they were a little bit mysterious. They speak of the mushrikeen of Mecca and the Ahl al-Kitab. And there, both of those blocks have an ayah that's repeated in exactly the same way. And it's about shirk. Inna Allah la yaghfiru an yushraka bi, that God does not forgive that anything be associated with Him, and He forgives all other things. And so, how does this tie to justice? Well, what is the greatest injustice that we can do? What is a greater injustice that we can do to God than to ascribe partners to Him? It's the most unjust thing, putting something where it doesn't belong. And so this theme of justice runs through the surah. And I think that when we look at Aitqum min an-nar, being saved from the fire, we should examine ourselves, our lives, and see if we are being just in all of our relationships, in all of our dealings. Now, the ayah that I wanted to mention, it's ayah number 10. Inna alladhina ya'kuluna amwal al-yatama. It's a specific example. Verily, those who devour the wealth of orphans, Zulman. Now this is the opposite of justly, wrongfully, out of oppression or just for the sake of personal greed. They didn't maintain their trust. إِنَّمَا يَأْكُلُونَ فِي بُطُونِهِمْ نَارًا. They're only devouring in their bellies fire. And so this is a specific example for us, but we can apply it to anything that we're doing unjustly and we're devouring unjustly. We're devouring fires in our bellies. So, Aitqum min an-nar, to be saved from the fire, manumission from the fire, will come if we live just lives, righteous lives, and we do not wrong others. So let us examine what is happening in our own very lives and correct what we know to be wrong as best as possible. And may Allah forgive us all. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين.